Commander Kate Hawthorne stood at the observation deck of Earth's Defense Station Alpha, her breath catching as she watched another star blink out of existence. It wasn't gradual. One moment the star was there, the next, nothing. Just empty black space where light should be. "Commander, you need to see this," said Lieutenant Paul Baker, his voice shaking as he handed her the latest sensor readings. "We've lost contact with 3 more deep space outposts." Hawthorne's hands tightened on the railing. In the past week, entire sections of the night sky had gone dark. Not just stars disappearing, but the very fabric of space itself being eaten away. "Get me a secure line to Central Command," she ordered, turning away from the window. The station's corridors echoed with rushed footsteps as crew members hurried to their stations. Red warning lights flashed along the walls, casting strange shadows. In her private office, the holographic display showed Admiral Greg Walsh's grim face. "Kate, it's worse than we thought. The Chinese station just went dark. Whatever this thing is, it's accelerating. We need to launch the quantum fleet," Hawthorne said. Now, before it's too late, the UN Security Council is still debating. They want more data. While they debate, we're losing more than stars. Hawthorne pulled up the classified files she'd discovered yesterday. "You've seen these reports, Greg. Our governments knew this was coming. The gravitational anomalies from 30 years ago, they were warnings." Walsh's face hardened. "Those files are above your clearance level, Kate. People are dying out there. The void isn't just destroying space, it's consuming everything it touches. Light, matter, energy. We have the quantum fleet. We built it for exactly this kind of threat. Stand down, Commander." "That's an order." Hawthorne looked at the emergency launch codes on her screen. The quantum fleet, Earth's most advanced ships, equipped with experimental weapons that could bend space itself. They were humanity's best chance. "Greg, we've served together for 15 years. You know I'm right." "Kate, please, wait for authorization." Another alarm blared. Lieutenant Baker's voice came through the intercom. "Commander?" The void just jumped. "It's inside the solar system. Jupiter station is gone." Hawthorne's fingers moved across the console, entering commands. "Ow. I'm sorry, Greg. But if we wait for the politicians, there won't be an Earth left to defend." "Kate, don't." She cut the transmission. Her heart pounded as she activated the station's general broadcast. "All personnel, this is Commander Hawthorne. Battle stations. I am initiating Protocol 0, warning klaxons screamed throughout the station. In the launch bays below, the quantum fleet's engines began to power up. Computer logged this decision. "I, Commander Kate Hawthorne, take full responsibility for launching Earth's quantum fleet without authorization. May history judge me fairly." She pressed the final command. Through the observation window, she watched as the massive ships began to rise from their berths, their quantum drives glowing with impossible power. There was no going back now. She had just committed treason to save humanity, and the void was coming. The quantum fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Jupiter's former orbit. Where the giant planet should have been, there was only darkness, a perfect sphere of nothing that consumed all light. Commander Hawthorne stood on the bridge of the QSS Valiant, her flagship's metal deck vibrating beneath her feet. Status report. 5 ships reporting ready, said Lucas Martinez, her second-in-command. Quantum weapons charged at maximum power. The void hung before them like a tear in reality. Hawthorne's hands gripped her command chair as sensor data scrolled across her screen. The nothingness was spreading, eating away at space itself. "All ships, battle formation," she ordered. "Prepare to fire on my mark." The quantum fleet moved into position, their experimental weapons glowing with blue energy. They were humanity's most advanced vessels, but looking at the void, Hawthorne felt small. Commander Martinez called out. "Something's wrong with the temporal readings." Before she could respond, the void pulsed. A wave of darkness swept toward them. "Evasive action!" Hawthorne shouted. "Fire quantum torpedoes!" Brilliant beams of energy struck the void. For a moment, the darkness seemed to crack. Then the cracks spread backward through the torpedo trails, consuming the energy itself. "Impossible," Martinez whispered. "It's not just eating the weapons. It's eating the time around them, making them never exist." The QSS Guardian, their newest ship, moved closer to the void. "This is Captain Lisa Ward. We're detecting a pattern in the temporal distortions. It's not random. This thing was created. A massive tendril of darkness lashed out. The Guardian's shields flared and failed. Hawthorne watched in horror as the ship began to dissolve, its hull falling away into nothing. "Get them out of there," she ordered. But it was too late. The Guardian vanished, along with its crew of 300. Martinez grabbed her arm. "Commander, look at this." He pointed to his screen. In the Void's energy signature, there was something familiar, something impossible. "These readings," he said. "They match our quantum drive technology, but more advanced. Years more advanced." Hawthorne's blood ran cold as understanding hit her. It's not an attack from aliens or another dimension. This weapon was made by humans, future humans. The Void pulsed again, stronger this time. 2 more ships disappeared into the darkness. On her screen, Hawthorne watched Jupiter's moons crumble into nothing. "All ships, fall back to Earth," she ordered. "We need to warn them. We need to—" The ship shuddered. Warning lights flashed across every console. Commander Martinez said, his voice shaking. "The Void isn't just following us. It's learning, adapting. Every weapon we use makes it stronger." Through the bridge window, Hawthorne watched as another star died. But now she understood the terrible truth. This wasn't just a war for survival. This was humanity fighting itself across time, and they were losing. The QSS Valiant limped back to Earth orbit, its quantum drive barely functioning. Through the bridge windows, Hawthorne saw military police ships approaching. "Commander," a stern voice crackled over the comm. "By order of the UN Security Council, you are under arrest for treason." Martinez stepped closer to her chair. "They're sending boarding parties to all surviving ships. Half the crew is already talking about surrendering." Hawthorne's hands flew across her console, downloading critical data.
"Oh.
"They don't understand what we found out there. The Void isn't just an enemy. It's our future trying to erase our present." Warning lights flashed as armed.
Aye.
Leading them was Colonel Frank Peters, a man Hawthorne had once trusted. "Kate Hawthorne," Peters said, "you launched an unauthorized attack that cost us 3 ships and nearly 1,000 lives. Frank, listen to me. The Void was created by future humans. Someone high up in command knows about this. They've known for years." Peters raised his weapon. "Step away from the console." Martinez moved between them. "She's telling the truth. We have sensor data." A shot rang out. Martinez fell, clutching his chest. But the shot hadn't come from Peters. It had come from behind. Lieutenant Sarah Wells, Hawthorne's communications officer, held a smoking gun. "Sorry, Commander, but we have our orders." "Orders from who?" Hawthorne demanded. "The Council, or someone else." Wells smiled coldly. "The future must be protected. Even if that means sacrificing the present." Martinez, bleeding on the deck, managed to hit an emergency control. The bridge lights cut out. In the chaos, Hawthorne grabbed his arm and ran. They stumbled through dark corridors as alarms blared. Martinez was heavy against her shoulder. "The data," he gasped. "In my quarters. Proof that Earth's leaders are working with them, planning to surrender to the Void." They reached a maintenance shaft. Behind them, boots thundered on metal floors. "You have to go," Martinez said, pushing her toward the shaft. "I'll hold them off. Lucas, no. Someone has to expose the truth." He pressed his security badge into her hand. "My quarters, safe behind the bed. Everything you need is there." Gunfire erupted at the end of the corridor. Martinez shoved her into the shaft and sealed it. Through the metal, she heard him firing back at their pursuers. Then a scream, then silence. Hawthorne crawled through the maintenance tunnels, tears streaming down her face. Martinez was gone. Her crew had turned against her. And somewhere in the ship, hidden in his quarters, was proof of the greatest betrayal in human history. She reached a junction and checked her position. The Void was still out there, growing stronger. Earth's leaders were helping it. And she was now the most wanted person in the solar system. But she had something they didn't know about, something that could change everything. She pulled out Martinez's security badge and found a hidden compartment inside. In it was a single quantum data chip, glowing with forbidden technology. Martinez had known this would happen. He had prepared for it. He had died to get this information to her. Now she just had to stay alive long enough to use it. Hawthorne crouched in Martinez's quarters, her hands shaking as she inserted the quantum data chip into a secure reader. The room was dark except for emergency lighting, casting red shadows across scattered papers and personal items. Oh. The chip projected a hologram of classified files. Her eyes widened as she read. The void wasn't a weapon of destruction. It was meant to be salvation. A message from the future played. To prevent the collapse of all reality, we must reset the timeline. The void will consume this version of history, allowing a new, stable timeline to form. But something was wrong. Hawthorne spotted an error in their calculations. The void wasn't just resetting time, it was destroying it completely. The door burst open. Hawthorne spun, reaching for her weapon, but stopped when she saw who it was. "Don't shoot," said Chief Engineer Ryan Cooper, hands raised. "I'm still on your side." So are others. Behind him stood a small group of loyal crew members, including Weapons Officer Mary Grant and Navigator Peter Walsh. "The future humans," Cooper said, looking at the hologram. "They're wrong, aren't they?" Hawthorne nodded. "Their math is flawed. They think they're saving humanity, but the void is growing too fast. It will consume everything, past and future. We have less than 24 hours. The Council is preparing to surrender," Grant said. "They're going to let the void take Earth." Walsh stepped forward. "We have a plan. QSS Defiant is still in maintenance dock. Minimal crew, but fully armed. And I've modified its quantum drive," Cooper added. "We can reach the void's point of origin." Alarms blared through the ship. Security forces were closing in. "Commander," a voice echoed through the corridors. It was Sarah Wells. "We know you're here. Surrender now." Hawthorne looked at the loyal crew members before her. "If we do this, we're not just fighting Earth's leaders, fighting time itself." "Better than watching everything we love disappear," Grant said, checking her weapon. Cooper pulled up a schematic of the maintenance dock. "We have 3 minutes before they seal all exits." Hawthorne grabbed Martinez's badge, holding it tight. "He died to get us this information. We're not going to waste it." They moved through the ship's back passages, avoiding patrols. The maintenance dock was ahead, the Defiant, waiting in its berth. But as they reached the final corridor, Hawthorne stopped. Through the dock's window, she saw something impossible. The void had appeared in Earth's atmosphere. A perfect sphere of darkness, growing larger by the second. "They're letting it in," Walsh whispered. "They're actually letting it in." Hawthorne watched as cities began to vanish into the darkness. Everything she had fought to protect was being surrendered by the very people meant to defend it. Commander Cooper said urgently, "What do we do?" Hawthorne turned to her loyal crew, determination burning in her eyes. "We have one ship, one chance, and one day to save not just Earth, but all of time itself." She looked back at the void consuming her world. "And I know exactly where we need to go." The QSS Defiant burst through the quantum barrier, its engines screaming as they pushed beyond their limits. Ahead lay the source of the void, a massive station floating in the ruins of what had once been Alpha Centauri. "Multiple contacts," Grant called out. "Future ships incoming. They know we're here." Hawthorne gripped her command chair. "Cooper's status on the quantum core?" "Ready," he said from engineering. "But if we're wrong about this, we'll tear reality apart." The void churned around them, eating away at space itself. On Earth, millions were already gone. But Hawthorne had seen the truth in Martinez's data. The future humans' plan was on saving anyone. It was ending everything. "Enemy ships launching weapons," Walsh reported. Present-day Earth forces joining them. The Defiant shook under heavy fire. Through the bridge window, Hawthorne watched as reality itself bent and twisted. "Commander," a new voice cut through their comms. "This is Director Alan Pierce, Earth Defense Command, year 2487. Stand down. We're trying to save humanity." "Your calculations are wrong," Hawthorne shot back. "The void isn't resetting time, it's destroying it. Check your own data." More ships appeared, weapons charging. Defiant dove and rolled. Cooper's modifications, pushing the ship beyond anything it was meant to do. "Final approach," Walsh called out. "One shot at this." Hawthorne opened a channel to all ships. "Look at your sensors. The void isn't just growing, it's accelerating. Your own readings prove it. We have proof." The attacking ships hesitated. On her screen, Hawthorne saw them analyzing the data she was broadcasting, Martinez's final gift to humanity. "Dear God," Pierce's voice cracked. "She's right. A cascade effect, we never saw it. Then help us stop it, Hawthorne pleaded. Before there's nothing left to save, a blast rocked the ship. Sarah Wells' voice cut in. Too late, Commander. The void must complete its work. The Defiant shields failed. Hull breaches on 3 decks. But they were almost there. Cooper Hawthorne called. Now. The engineer slammed controls in his station. The Defiant's quantum core ejected, flying straight into the void's heart. Time seemed to stop. Past, present, and future collided in one impossible moment. If we're right, Hawthorne whispered, the core will cancel out the void's energy. If we're wrong, ... Double quotes, reality itself bent around them. Through the window, Hawthorne saw time fracture and reform. The void pulsed, growing brighter instead of darker. It's working, Cooper shouted. The reaction as white light exploded outward. Defiant tumbled as waves of temporal energy washed over them. Hawthorne saw ships from past and future caught in the blast. Then everything went silent. Slowly the light faded. Where the void had been, stars now twinkled. Real stars. Living stars. Report, Hawthorne called out, her voice shaking. Timeline stabilizing, Walsh said in awe. The void, ... it's gone. All of them are gone. Hawthorne looked at her crew, the few who had believed, who had fought beside her. They had saved not just Earth, but time itself. Take us home, she ordered quietly. Let's see what kind of future we saved. The Defiant turned toward Earth, its quantum drive humming with power. Behind them, the stars continued to shine.